Like when I was a little boy, I hated Father's Day. I didn't have a traditional dad that checked all the boxes, that checked all the boxes. I didn't have that. So when Father's Day would come around, every year I hated it more and more. And every year, hate started to creep up in my heart more and more to the point where I was a hater. Not a traditional type of hater, but I hated too much. I hated seeing these kids with their dads. I hated seeing some of my friends that had dads. And I guess I would hate on them and I would joke and poke fun and bully. And little by little, I just I didn't have that little piece in my heart no more where I had love. And that rock grew so much. And I had to take it out, right? And I didn't know how. But I came to the realization that a couple years ago, maybe like a lot of years ago, that God was my dad. That whatever I ask him, he would give me like a real dad would. That he would give me the protection and the guidance that I needed. And once I was able to take that out of my shoe, and then I became a dad myself. And I was able to love Father's Day. So there's something you got, some type of baggage you got that you won't be able to take it out if you don't do the first step. And the first step is to, just like that guy, take your shoe off. The guy had to sit down and the guy had to open up his shoe. You gotta reflect and open up. Why are you so tripped out? Why are you so quick to do this? Or why are you so numb in certain spots of your life? And why you hate certain stuff? You got to go backwards to go forward. You got to sit down and stop and take off your shoe to even enjoy the next couple of steps. So there's a thing I was going through too after that and during that, because you might have multiple rocks in your shoes. You might have the whole card stuck like against you. You might be having just one problem, but it don't matter because that one problem is going to tear you up just like the other problems will too. But I was going to tell you about the main topic of this video is about belonging and about how you belong. And for a while, I felt like I didn't belong. My true self didn't belong. And I had to act a different way to conform and belong with the different people that I worked with, that I lived with, that I interacted with, the people, the family that I married into, the family I have. And it just wasn't true. Now, when people look at me, they stereotype me. And when people look at you, they stereotype you. And you have a certain stereotype, whether you be a guy or a girl, whether you be black, white, whether you be like me, whether you be an immigrant, whether you be fat or skinny, or whether you look clean cut or dirty or weak or strong. People start thinking what you can achieve and what you cannot achieve, and how you even think, or how smart you are. And yourself, you could stereotype yourself and put yourself in these boxes, in these categories that you don't belong, that God didn't intend you to be in. And these things will start leading you into a life of doubt. And when you start doubting yourself, you ain't living to your full purpose. So when I was little, I ran the street because there was love in the street where there wasn't love in my house. And when I ran the street, I didn't know about stereotypes. And I was feeding into every single stereotype. Unknowingly, I was, just to fit in with my friends. Even though it felt wrong, even though it was new to me, I just wanted to fit in. So there came a time where I had to break out. I couldn't, I just had to break out. I had enough. I wasn't trying to join a gang, and my friends started doing things and getting into things that were just too heavy. And they're hitting all the stereotypes, right? Every single one plus more. And something, I had desires in life, like you do. You have things you want to achieve. And in the moment of reflection, when I was really young, I told myself I wanted to be an EMT or a paramedic or a firefighter. So I started going down that path of studying, and I went to college, and I got into a fire academy, and I got into an EMT course. And when I was there, I didn't belong. I didn't look like the other guys. I didn't talk like them. And I didn't walk like them. But I tried hard too. I tried real hard to be like them. But they saw it, and they treated me different. And they started calling me homie. And I did not like that, because only a couple people could call me homie. Only the people I grew up with that were my homies could call me homie. And they didn't say it like in a loving way. It was a derogatory way, and I didn't like it. And I would get mad. And they knew it, and they just kept on. But some of those people didn't even pass the class because it was like a high failure rate. But I passed. Now, even though I was trying to fit in to their ways, I didn't. So when the time came for me to get a job, I was I was in South Central, and everybody that called 911 at the time was like me, was of my kind, but they weren't like my partner's kind. And when I would work on these people, when these people were dying, it would touch me a certain way because they looked just like me. And I was able to help these people, to help their family, to connect when my partners wouldn't. There was a disconnect right there. They would make fun of them after the call. They would talk bad about them after we would drop them off at the hospital. And I think at that time, my purpose was to be in that spot, to be myself. And I felt I was helping people, and that time, that was my season, right? I was in my purpose. So what I'm trying to say is that to be yourself. Be yourself. That way you can help people like you. Don't hide yourself. Now, after that, sometimes I got, I don't know, I think I just seen too much death, right? So I had to hop out of that. It was just too much for me. Not knowing, but it was. Now, it got a little foggy after that because I didn't have no purpose. I did jobs where it just had no purpose. It was just for the money. And God put that heaviness back on me to go find another purpose. And I think right now my purpose is to be on these videos, helping people that might be lost, that might be doubting themselves or just tripped out in the head, that've been through too many things. So what I want to tell you guys is that you got to take these little steps forward, because people need you in your life. People needed to see me. People needed to see me successful. Somewhere, somehow, people were looking up to me because they were like, hey, this dude looks like me. This dude's doing things. This dude's helping people. And he talks like me. And he walks like me. He didn't switch up. He didn't change. And that's just something that you shouldn't do either. Don't change because you think you got to fit in somewhere. Because you belong and you matter. Now, there's probably people in your life that you got to take out, and it sucks. But you got to take these people out, just like that rock in your shoe. These people won't let you take that next step. They won't. And they love living in your shoe, but you got to take them out. Now, they might be the most people close to you or the people that you need or rely on. But if you don't take them out, then you ain't going to get to your next step, to your next season. And you're probably just going to be stuck right there. Because there's been years where I've just been stuck in the same spot. Here comes January again, and I'm stuck in the same spot. So don't do that to yourself, and don't do that to your line. And don't feel alone too, because you got God, right? And then if you don't believe in God, I didn't believe in God for a long time too. I believed them, but I didn't really, you know. I never acknowledged Jesus, but that was just me. So reflect on yourself. Reflect what you got to do. Reflect. Let yourself know that you belong. Shake all them rocks off your shoes. People need you. And you might feel like you depressed or you sad or something like that. That's normal too. Like you're not gonna be walking around happy all the time. Take that in. Take all that in. Hit all your emotions. Let all your emotions hit. Don't don't put things in a don't suppress things. I remember when I was little, I was like 14 and my cousin died. And I didn't really cry. And then I was 16 and my other cousin died. And I didn't cry. But when I was 19, it all came out. And it was weird. And it was really strong and weird. And it's because I didn't sit with that. Sit with your pain. Figure out your pain. Or else it's just gonna be riding with you the whole time. It won't be a rock, you won't feel it, but it'll be in you. It'll be like some funk in your sock. It'll have a little stink. Don't sit with yourself. I remember when COVID came. That's why you see me right here doing this cleaning and stuff. Because when COVID came, I started a business because I was able to just sit at home and think a lot and reflect a lot. And I told myself, hey, um, I don't want to be working so much. I don't want to be working 16-hour days. And I don't want to be working 18-hour days. I want to see my family. So I reflected. I was down. I was crying, thinking about what can I do? Like, God, give me something to do. Like, I have a truck. Give me something to do. So then I started this little business, right? Of cleaning. Like, I didn't ever want to be that. But it's not that I didn't want to be a cleaner or whatever this thing is called. I just didn't want to. You grow up, you have ambitions, you know? No little boy says that. No little boy says he want to wash windows in the nighttime or pressure wash in the nighttime. So what mattered to me was my family, was my peace of mind. And I took a big pay cut, a super big pay cut. And I didn't get right financially for a couple of years. And once I got right financially, I still wasn't right mentally, really. And that's another story right there. But the whole thing is seasons. Like, check out that season. I'm in a season right now. You're in a season right now. So understand your season. How you gonna get out that? How you gonna get back home? How you gonna get back right? And the only thing I can really advise you is that you need to start talking to God. It's like your best friend. He ain't gonna answer you either. And he ain't even gonna give you what you want fast. It takes a long time for his prayers to be answered. Sometimes I feel like his prayers take a while. And when they do hit, they hit in ways I didn't even think they were gonna hit. They hit too hard sometimes. They hit too hard, but they hit. And I gotta acknowledge that they hit. So watch what you pray for too. So I'm gonna keep making these videos. This is video number 2, and I, I ain't gonna stop really. You guys could like comment or whatever, subscribe or whatever, or just wait for the next one, or let me know what you want me to make a video about, and I'm down. I'll make something for you. And little by little, we all gonna grow together like a community. I named it the House of Grit cause life make you gritty. You gotta have a grit. And I use the hummingbird because the hummingbird is a crazy animal. He he fights with the bigger birds and he don't lose. He does what he got to do to survive. He migrates far. Some of them don't leave. Where I live, they don't leave. They're here year round. 100 and something degrees. And in the winter, it's like 20 degrees. And they're still here. And they fight. And they're small. And you might stereotype them like they're small, but they're big. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.